Very good evening. Lovely to have your company. It's myself, Scott, with the Love Me Lou. You know we love Lou. How are you?
I'm very, very good.
Are you excited?
I am. I'm a bit giddy today. A bit giddy, guys. A bit giddy.
A giddy Lou. A giddy Lou. I'm going to let you do the chatting.
Yeah, well, some would rather I didn't.
No, not at all. And we're going to get to demonstration. All I'm going to say is, for this brand new one-day special that we have for you, it's absolutely fantastic. It's the lovely English garden. Okay, you get stamps, die, embossing folders, die cuts, and you're going to get the watercolour set. All I'm going to say is, I just very rarely say this, don't go to your baskets yet. Okay, don't put this into your baskets just yet, because there's a lot of savings to be had right the way down with something that's coming up towards the end of this. But all I'm going to say is a complete collection, but to really make sure that you see all of this, we want to make sure that you are totally in the loop about where all the savings are and what you can get at the very end. So let's make sure that you just hang fire with us and we explain to everything what we've got here. And I think that's fair to say, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Because there's big savings to be had, but you've got to know where to go for them. So just pay heed. So let's talk about the one-day special as it is in here, OK? This comes straight away, and you need to jot these down so this makes sense at the end. This comes with a £34 saving. And I know that there's a lot of people that are looking at this straight away and go, oh, I love it. Very pretty, very beautiful, quintessentially English garden, I get that. But what you are saying as well, and from our chat earlier, is there is that's an option.
Of course there is.
But we are going to experiment and look at lots of other different ways of working. So don't be taken in book and cover. I think you know what I'm saying. Don't judge it by.
Absolutely.
Talk to me about why this bundle's so good as a one-day special, Lou.
Right, you've got some elements in there that just go for, to me, they're just, because I'm into me fantasy, Harry Potter and Secret Garden, to me that's this. Right. This is like, I could make it all fantastical, I could make it really pretty, I could make it really grungy. And I've just been watching programmes on the telly where, you know, the doorway is like the key, and you could have all sorts of elements.
Magical.
It's just, but you can really grunge it up as well, because, you know, I'm not a pretty person. And this, I was like, pretty, but when I actually broke it all down, I was like, this is for me. Seriously, it really is. And
if anybody can, you can. Now, it's really important we understand that because we talked about this quintessential English garden kind of feel. Watercolours spring to mind straight away. And you're going to get your watercolours in this as well, straight in it. Now, I will state this very, very clearly from the beginning. When these have gone, they're gone.
We can't get any more.
OK, we cannot get any more of those. OK, that's right, isn't it?
Yeah, we can't get any more, because they are very, very popular, but that's it. Once they've gone, they've gone. And
we'll give you a bit more of a breakdown about sort of value in that on its own a little bit later on as well. But, so that just makes that price even more fantastic. I'm a starter, I'm a beginner, watercolours. Difficult to get your head around to start with, or is it just, you know, pick it up and have a go?
No, pick it up, have a go. The best thing to do is, the lovely Shana did this for me, and do a colour chart. Get your pens, your watercolour pens, paintbrushes, so you don't need anything to take with you. You've got your palette in there, and you just have a play with those colours. Now, I know Shana's just done a very light wash with them, but they're absolutely beautiful, beautiful colours. They're not your normal sort of half-pan colours. These are quite... You don't get a lot of pinks, you don't get a lot of teals with them, you get like what we call set colours. But in these, they've gone to the colours that match everything in the kit.
Right. I love Hope. I love that
sort of... Great names out there.
It's gorgeous, aren't they? Really pretty as well. So you're not just going to get... You're going to get the actual water brushes. That's all included within that set that you can see. So your water brushes are there. So think about the value in that yourself. Now, we've also got the die cut book.
Right.
In here as well. Why am I going to use these?
Well, you've got a die there, and if you were sort of stuck for ideas, this gives you, like, the background you could have, the view. You can make simple cards with it. Emma's done some great little ATCs with it. It's got all the bits and bobs you can decoupage, but you could have that at the back of the die cut that we're going to see later. So it's almost like a ready-made image for you.
I see, OK.
But, yeah, you can build these up. There's the same flowers, we've got them in stamps. Roses and dies, so you can see that they all sort of match.
Very beautiful.
Absolutely.
Really pretty.
Very handy as well.
Yeah, very handy as well. Get a great reaction straight away. Now then, we've got the dies in here.
Oh, I love these.
Now, talk to me about the dies then.
Right, well, the dies, you've got some die cutting embossing folders, but these, I absolutely adore that. It's not a hollyhock, and it's not a, what is it? Nightshade. But it's beautiful, the long one.
Yeah.
Not a lupin.
But they like, isn't it not a rabbit plant? Right? There's one of them that you can, the little flowers on it. I know the ones you mean, but I don't know exactly what the term is. Somebody will know. Someone let us know.
It does look like a deadly nightshade or one of those, but you can make it into anything. You've got the little flower that goes with it. That I've done it in text and music paper, and they just look amazing. But then you get that amazing scroll.
That's nice, isn't it?
Now it's got two edges to the scroll. You've got an out and an in. So if you wanted to cut into your card with the scroll, you take the outside. So if I show you, it has that around it. If that makes sense.
Yes, the individual.
So if that makes sense,
you
have that around it. So you can cut it out separately, or you can place that in and have it. Sorry, if you take that off, this cuts into the card and just leaves it in.
Got you. Oh, I see.
Or you can put that in there and it cuts it out as a whole shape.
Got you. Got you. Lovely.
Right.
Now, you also mentioned in there the embossing folders, but the embossing folder with die in it.
Absolutely. You've got two there.
With a die in it.
Well, you've got the one there, the flowers, and it's got a couple of flowers that just pop out.
Got you. Love, that's very nice.
It's quite straight. It's beautiful. I mean, I've done one here just to show you, and it's a really rough one, but it's so simple. You just die cut it, and you've got all these wonderful elements there, but then all you do is just bring this up. So, to me, I love this idea.
I love the fact it's all done in one.
Yeah, it's just there you've got your flower and you've got another one down here.
That's pretty, isn't it?
And if you wanted to, then you could lay your die cuts on top. So you've got, to me, you could just put a sentiment there, you've got a card.
Yeah, exactly. Work with that.
You know, you could do a spring and so you've got that one, and then you've got the archway with the door.
That's lovely. Now, that is quite magical. And again, I know there's some examples we can show you, but that frames anything beautifully, doesn't it? That's a lovely thing.
I cut it in the papers because you've got some amazing paper packs, but you've got the stamp that goes with it. I know I was speaking to some people today who was in with D, and they were saying, oh, can we just have that? No, sorry, we can only get it with this, but look at that.
Here we go, look at that. That is stunning.
It's embossed on the paper. I haven't stamped it yet, but
that is lovely, and the detail, like you say, around there, that sort of old built wall, hidden secret garden kind of thing, isn't it?
So you know when you get the die, the flowers, like the edge flowers, you could have them hanging down like ivy.
Oh, nice.
You know,
love this.
Great for kids' books, great for them storytelling and things.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Look, I'm gonna just we've got the stamps in there as well.
Yeah.
There's so much in this as well. Yeah. There is. Got our stamps in there that will work beautifully with those as well. And I know you're going to show maybe some different ways of how we can work with that. So it's not just your classical watercolour kind of feel about that, but a very different feel. Right, 914280, the StudioLight English Garden stamps. You've got the dies in there, you've got the embossing folders, you've got the die cuts as well, and the watercolour set. All of that. Now, we'll tell you, some of you haven't listened to what Lou and I were saying, some of the 10%'s already gone. For that set as it is like that, which has got that £34 saving. Now, what I'm saying is just delay if you can, but remember that £34 saving. I want to show you some other sections as well, because you are going to get the chance to get all of this, but I want to make sure that everyone's very clear on exactly where the saving is collectively on all of this. But well done for those that have already got it. Let's move down, though, until we got for here again, carrying on that theme. Talk to us a little bit about build this with. This is, again, a beautiful standalone bulk.
You can buy this on its own, but it's all meant as a collection. So I love the fact that they're individual or collections. Now, that fence can be used for anything. You can make it into a train tracks, anything. Like, you just use your imagination.
Yes.
The flowers are great because when you cut them out, as we've seen on some of the DT's work, they work great. Now, that watering can, you don't need to have the can. It could be a vase, that, if you take off the handle and the spout. So you can work with different things. And then you have got the wonderful... you've got the scroll back chair, and you've also got the ironwork, and that's
lovely.
Is stunning because that is like a lace. It really is beautiful.
That is lovely.
And then we've got the other one, the pads there, which are all similar to the big ones, but they just fit the embossing folders perfect. So it all fits together. And then the roses cut in and out. So,
okay.
So they have like I'll show you that. Oh, there.
There we go.
You can mould them. You can actually mould them so they pop out. So not just cut out, they pop out, which is a really clever element. I like that.
Oh, that's very nice.
It is nice, isn't it?
Really nice.
So not just a flower, you know. And I like the way that you don't even need the background on that. You could just have that.
Yeah, that's true.
And
on its own it works, doesn't it? I'll do a little bit of a flick through of the paper pack as well a little while, but I know we've got a lot to sort of just fill in here, but I will come back onto those as well. 502146 on this one, £24.99. Now jot this one down here as well. If you want to go for this as an individual set, okay, you're looking at a £14 saving on this, a £34 saving on the previous set, the one-day special. On here, there's got a £14 saving. At the end, you understand why I'm saying all of this as well, because this is where you're going to really sort of see your great value for money. 502146 if you would like to go for this particular one on its own. But don't do that just yet. Working our way down again. And again, as you mentioned, all of these blend beautifully together through a massive collection here. What are we going to be getting in here? Right,
well, we've got the foxglove. And we've got the, it's not hollyhock. I love these because you can cut these out. The teapot and the tea service, right? Well, I've got a little idea in my head if I can get a frame, and that's when I was going to cut that out and make it to an Alice tea party with it.
Oh wow, yes.
You know, with the doors.
Yeah, of course, that would work, wouldn't it? Mad Hatters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
And then
I love that idea.
We've got the paper pad, and we've got the die cuts, and we've got like the little birdhouse, and then some more foliage, and that it's almost like an allium flower. It's got to be one of my favourite shapes because it's so versatile. But it's beautiful. There's a paper pack. Do you want me to?
Yeah, I've got one. Oh, yeah, we got one. You got a special one there, haven't you? Well, I'll pick this one.
Mine.
You got. Let's have a little look through so that you get a bit of an idea of. I mean, their papers are beautiful.
Beautiful papers.
They really are beautiful papers. Look at these.
They make great little notebooks. They make the great front of cards. All you need is sentiment on that, and you could just draw around.
You could, couldn't you? Seriously.
I'm going to show you really tricky things with them.
That's nice.
You know, you could cut the arch out of that.
Yeah, you could, couldn't you?
And you've got a ready-made wall done. But there's so much, that's perfect for it.
Really has been well thought through. For all of these that you're going to see. So obviously there's some really fantastic, again, if you are going to go with this with the watercolours as well from the original one-day special, there's lots in there. So we mentioned the dies, we mentioned the pack as well on there, so we've seen all those. 035474. This comes with a £14 saving as well, £24. So 34, 14, £14 saving on all of those. Now we're working now down to the final piece that's all, if you look at this whole collection, this is our paper collection that we have here. And again, what we mentioned in the smaller packs, you're getting these again, but bigger size.
And the patterns are appropriate sizes, so they've not squashed them on or made them larger. In that sense, they're appropriate. So you get 12 by 12s and A4s. They're double-sided, absolutely beautiful colours. Even if you're not an English country feel, these will work great for your journals because you can cut elements out. You can put gesso on them and wash them down. Again, the wall make absolutely amazing.
Really are. Yes, that one is great.
I did something a bit naughty with that with that die cut. And
did you?
Yeah, and I haven't done it, but I did. And I just cut out gates in it, and it was amazing.
Really beautiful papers that I'm sure you're going to get a lot of.
Look at that, you can see, can't you? You can see nice pictures of your garden or a flower or anything, and really nice thoughts with it. I don't know, it just evokes that nice summer beautiful feeling in it. Yeah,
quality papers as well. So you're going to be getting this for the collection. 84 sheets of this one. These are 12 by 12 sheets, looking at 567877. Now this is £10.99 for that collection that you can see there. 567877. So that's everything we got here, and you've noticed again with some brilliant savings from the one-day special, £34 saving, £14 special, £14 saving of course, and this one is a brilliant deal already. So if you would like to, you can go for everything in here, okay? Now, of course, what we're looking at there, the introductory price, it says you're saving £5. But if you think about this, actually, you've got to then take into consideration that each one of those separate sections that make up this complete bundle have got those individual savings in there. So the actual price saving you're looking at is... I think it was £67 saving, basically, with that £5 as well, of course, you're looking at. Now, if you are a Freedom member... Look at this. You can get the whole shebang for £94.46. That includes your postage and your packaging as well. So if you're not a Freedom member, this is one of those why not deals to go for that. So £6.97 you'll be paying, of course, then to become a member for that month. But this is also then made available on your Flexi buy. So that's 3 payments. That really does bring it down. That's £31.49. Oh, you're over there. Sorry, £31.49. So you got 3 of those payments if you wanted to. So your first payment is actually working out less than if you were to buy the one-day special. at that kind of price. Now, over 20% of that has already been allocated. And don't forget, with those watercolour paints that are in there, when they're gone, as you heard from Lou, there's no more of those available. No. When they are gone, they are gone. So to get everything, the whole bundle that you can see there for that price, which is amazing, 713233 for that. It's a StudioLight English Garden complete collection. That at the moment still you're including the paints in there as well. If you're not a Freedom member, why not for this price? Because you can really take advantage of that free P&P. That price is down to under £100 and the whole lot is there for you. And it's on FlexiBuy, of course, over 3 payments, bringing that price right down. Now, already a quarter of the stock is now gone. And we're 15 minutes into this brand new launch of the one-day special. I did say if you could just hang on for those first 10 minutes of the show before you make your decision on what you want to go for. But you didn't. You went for it. A lot of you have gone for it. But now a lot of you can see where that saving is there to be had. So if you like your pretty quintessential English garden feel, you want to keep in that style, this is absolutely perfect for you to go for. If, however, you like that and you want to give it a slight different twist and a different style, you've got absolutely the right person here to take us through that, because that's what really excites you about this project, wasn't it, Lou, you said?
I like a challenge. I like to take something now that I'm not safe with and then say, right, what can I do with this? Because I feel more creative doing that. I feel I get a bit bogged down when I'm thinking, oh, I'll just do this. No, you've got to really go for it. Sometimes out your comfort zone is really what you've got to do.
Well, we're in your hands and we're looking forward to working with this and see how we can transform things.
I'm just going to do really quick, any page, it doesn't matter what page. I'm just going to go a really quick way of introducing my own input onto this. So this is a lovely page. I really don't need to do anything to this. No. And I mean that in a really nice way, because I don't think that warrants loads of stuff on it. But what do you know? You saw me cutting all them things over there. I cut them all up, ready, and I've put away.
You were prepping.
I was prepping like mad.
Yeah.
So what I've got is a lilac, shaded lilac distress oxide, and I've got the die cut. Now the die cut I'm using is from one of the sets, because what I want to do is keep that interesting. So I've got the die cut here, but I love the waste. And if I just show you, it's just stunning. It's just stunning.
On itself, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, all I need to do to make that is just, I don't need to do hardly anything, but I want to bring the background and the flowers into it. So I'm just going to place that there on top, and I'm just going to, I mean, you can be a bit lighter or a bit, choose your own colours, or it's entirely up to you, but I just want to bring in some elements of this popping out. Right. So I don't want to do the whole thing, I just want it, and remember, go both ways. I just want it sort of popping into the background. And,
you know, because there won't be some crafters that are looking and thinking, you know, because that paper is so beautiful, would be afraid to then add on to that as well. But what would you say about that? Anyone that's got that kind of, oh, no, that it's finished product as it in that respect, and you want to go in this style, how would you...
Well, there's 2 pages.
If you're not used to doing it.
Yeah, there's 2 pages of it. And what I would do is I would just go for it, because if you don't like it, all you have to do is just paint it with gesso, and you've got another sheet to do. And that'll just take the edge of it, and you never have to throw them away, and that's the thing of it. You see, even this looks nice if you rip this off. But can you see I've introduced that really soft colour? So now I've made it different. I mean, what I can do now is get one of the die cuts, but I think...
That doesn't look at all out of place or not deliberate. In fact, it looks like it feeds into it and part of it.
Well, one of the things that you need to think about is the colours that you're using. If I was to start putting a bright pink on that, it would be okay, but then it would be the thing that you're looking at. I don't want it to be that. I want it to be in the background. I want it to be part of it. But then I want these to sort of pop up. So what I do then is think about how you're going to sort of present these flowers. Do you want them sort of right at the front? Do you want them in the background? And the way I do that is I just put a tiny bit on the top part. And it might be a hit and miss, you might even not see it much, but I'm just going to stamp like I did. Near it, because I'll be like in families, just there. And almost like in the areas where there's gaps. So now I've got a little bit more sort of impact now. What I can do is introduce a little bit of dark colour, but I don't want it to be too dark. So the way I do this now is you can do it two ways. You can use your paints and use your oxide. So I'm going to use the paints. These are the paints that are in your kit. So the paints here, we'll look at this pan, and these pop out straight away as coming into this colour with that.
Right.
So what I'm going to do is get the other side of my sponge, just get a tiny bit of water on my sponge. I don't want it wet, I just want it damp. And then I'm just going to go in with a little bit of the paint.
Oh, I see.
So I've got it mixed on the sponge and on there. And don't worry if you do that, because it all comes off. You know, it's not going to harm it. Now, you'll get a different colour, and it'll be a little bit darker. So I'm looking at this now thinking I need that to be a little bit darker.
So you can build it up layer by layer with this.
So I've got a little bit of pink on it now.
Right.
So I'm not too worried. I didn't intend to, but it won't harm because I've got lots of pinks on it. So, oh, that's nice. You can hardly see it, but it's there. So I've got that. I've built up my colours, quite like it, but now I need to give it some more impact. So I'm just going to give that, maybe not. I've got some like little leaves here, and I'm just going to go really quite dark with this.
Oh yeah.
And this is the paint side I'm using. I'm using the paint side. So, and turn it over so you've got an opposite. And this is all just the one paper pad. So I've not sort of had to get loads of equipment out or anything. This is just one paper pad.
But it already has a different feel to
will.
how it looked 3 or 4 minutes ago.
Absolutely.
By the way, a third of the complete set of everything has already now been allocated. So if you were interested in going for this one, you can see the way it's going. The stock's only become less as we go through the hour.
Yeah.
So do take advantage if you want to get hold of this. I know we're loving watching lovely Lou, of course, but just wanted to give you an update on how it's going. It's a fantastic, it's such a lovely big collection of all those that work together, and there's big savings to be had.
And you keep using it as well. It's not one of them that you'll put away, because the flowers on their own I'd use, the teapot on it, I'd use it for something else. It's got that underlying theme, but like you say, lots of individual elements that make up a nice package on them as well. I think that's why it's also proving so successful with people. See, that's looking great, that. I've added, wilted violet, yeah, and just to give it more impact now, and you could just see it picking it out.
Yeah.
But to me now, it's starting to look like I need something in the front. So there's two things you can do. What I'm going to do is introduce black to it, and I'm using a bit of a sad ink pad. And when I mean sad, I don't mean sad. StudioLight's one at best, but it's drying up. So that is the best time to use it for this, because your juicy pads, it'll completely ruin that, because you don't want it, it's too much.
Right.
Whereas this, I'll just be getting like a line drawing, which is really what I want. And plus it's still got the purple on it. Might even be too dry. But what I want is, there we go.
Oh yeah, no.
Just going to put a tiny bit more on, and then I'm going to go to my darker ones and just try and go over where I've gone there. There we go. That's it. So I'm just going over where I've gone before, and it doesn't matter if you sort of overstamp, because it's flowers. So just overstamping. Right, now, what I like to do is when I'm going to fill up this bit. So what I've done is, I've got loads of bits and bobs and all over. I did have a white one there, didn't I? So where's that gone now?
Which bit are you looking for now?
Oh, my brain. I just did. Oh, here's one. I'll use this one. So you get a couple of these. You don't have to have many. You can have tons if you want. And the flower one. Now, what I've done is I've actually introduced a little bit of music paper, just to give it a little bit of difference. Now, you could apply that to that if you wanted, but I'm not too sure about that, but I really like the idea of this. So I'm going for a juicy ink pad now, and this one is different because it really will.
Difference, you can see the difference, put it onto the stamp, can't you, there?
Absolutely, you will see it, and this is what I want now, because I'm going to really dark, because this is the focal point at the front. So you can just see that there, and I'm going to take another one, just popping off the page. That's it. Now what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to get a little bit of, that's a strong colour.
Isn't it? That's a lovely colour.
It's beautiful, but what I want is, I want more of a sort of a gentle wash with this now. So I'm going to just get a brush, and I think I'll pick up a tiny bit of watercolour with it. So I'm going for a violet. It's the violet in there.
Oh yeah, look at that.
So I'm mixing the watercolour and the violet, and all I'm going to go straight on my die cut. Now, depending on the paper that you use, you'll get a different effect. So you can see that's still not dark enough, so I'm going to put a bit of this on it as well. And you can leave it to dry or whatever you want, but it actually, to me, it's not dark enough. But what you can do is if you leave it like that and keep doing that, you'll get a wonderful effect on the back.
Oh, I see, yeah, you're picking up the points.
So, you know, it will sort of change as it dries. You can do it. Now, you see, you can do it with the text paper, but I'll show you what happens. It gets, because it's a lot finer text paper, you've got more chance of it, ripping.
Oh, I see, yeah.
So you can use it, but please beware that it is going to...
It's much finer material to work with than that, yeah.
Right,
yep.
So what I'm going to do now is just here, I need to get some sort of dark start going. So I'm turn the stamp round and I'm just going to go for it here while that's drying, and I want to create a dark element, so with the same colours, and I'm mixing that up, and then I'm going to get this stamp.
Now you were excited about these stamps when we were talking about before we came on,
and this is a card. To me, this would never be put away now. This would be on my table permanently, never away. It'd be there forever. People say, what, you're not putting that stamp? No, because I need it on. Because it's just one of them, it's going to be such a hard worker. And this is going to be at the very front. So I'm just going to move that there. I'm going to get my juicy pad, she says. Now, this will be at the front. So what I've tried to do is create a wonderful little feel of, so bring it down a bit for you. So what I'm just trying to do, go over it. That's it.
Oh.
And then there, and then what I'm going to do is just turn the stamp round, and I'm going to go into the bottom with it and just darken it a little bit more.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Just there, and then bring that up, and then what you're going to do is the tips of it. So if I just, you can take it off and do it, or leave it on. And all I'm doing is the very edge. I better show you this.
This has got a completely different feel now, isn't it?
Yep. So I'm introducing the stamp into it, darkening it, and it's now got this feeling of it's moving forward. So when this is dry, these can be arranged any way you want, but what you do need to do is glue them on. I'm not going to put that one on because it's a bit thin, but glue them on, and then at the very bottom you're just going to darken them so that they don't fight.
What I'm like about this is that sort of grunge and that sort of darker feel to this, but it still actually looks beautiful.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
exactly.
It's not taken away from what you had as the basics and the very beginning of this with the paper that you were using here, and it still had, but it has got that other element that you said. It's not as pristine and trimmed edges as you'd expect in that quintessential, you know, British kind of garden. But you've not lost that. You just added to it, and it's just got that sort of darker, busier, little bit more dishevelled kind of feel about that. But it still has that beauty at the heart of it, which is what's so clever what you've done. It's lovely.
Well, I like the idea of it being, you know, that idea.
More like a wild garden.
Yeah, you know, foraging, and you think, what's underneath there? What's going on there? And that's what I like. So I'm just going to put in some newspaper on this and text print. I'm just going to go over it, but I will darken it down, and you can do use all the stuff that they've got, you know, and just darken it down, but I don't want to do too much. So, and again, once it's stuck down, you've got a better chance of it just
I see, adding on then,
and then you can just rub that in, but that again is a little bit hey up and I can just do this. Now what you would do now, you do need to bring that out, and you need to do it with a pencil. Have you heard me? You need to do it with a good brush. Right, so all I'm going to do is just bring that colour in now, and just put a little bit of colour. It looks a bit, while you're doing that, I'm just going to bring this forward a little bit by adding a little bit more colour to it. And all I'm doing is dotting it on, and you're getting this wonderful flowery texture.
You are the master of this sort of this stuff. I'll tell you what, if you have got a question while Lou is here, please, you know, certainly if you're new to starting with crafting or experience and you just come up and you've got some other ideas or what, you know, please email it in now while Lou is working on this, because if you sort of see how Lou has transformed that paper into what you've got here, which, like I said, still looks beautiful, but it has a very different feel to what some of the other examples that we've got here on the show to show you. Studio@Hochanda, please drop us any questions you might have for Lou, and we'll read them out and go through, if that's okay with you, Lou, to sort of answer. Because you have got the master of just taking that, and I love the way that you build up these, you know, these bit by bit, and just experiment, and you look at something and
it's all layers.
The layering of it, it's
all layers. And I mean, this part of this book is an old book, but I like the idea of don't waste this bit, because this colour is so...
the very bottom of it, without even with even the text.
And the top, I mean, it wouldn't have looked very good if I stamped on that. It says the murder book. That's not great, is it? So, do you know what I mean? That's not, maybe not that bit, but keep this bit. And I am sorry, but I was cutting out before, and I didn't realise, but there was some naughty words. So if I've not spotted them all, I do apologise. I didn't do it on purpose. I really didn't. I don't do stuff like that. What a job, me. You know what I mean? Right. So I quite
was it in French?
That. I don't know what it was. Very naughty. I don't swear, I'm a lady.
You are a lady, absolutely. Yeah.
Right, these little bits, don't, you know, if they fall off, don't worry, because you can just add them. Nothing will just stick them down. Right, this one, what we've got is this. Remember, we had the. Come on with us.
To plant a garden is to believe in tomorrow. That's lovely. It's a lovely sentiment, isn't it? Which one is that? Which one is that one from? Is that? Oh, I know it's in the complete. So the complete section. You've already go for everything. I'm just trying to think where there was in the bits. That's a lovely sentiment, isn't it?
Yeah, it's lovely. I really like this. All I'm doing now is just stippling around the edges. I don't want to put too much colour on. I just want to give it a little bit of colour, an edge to it. But you can shade it if you want. You know, do your what's it called, with your sponges and stuff. But to me, I'm not interested in. I just want it to look like it's not too much. Now, you could have it there if you wanted to, or you could put it up there. I prefer it down here. And then it's up to you what you do now. And you could have another thing, another leaf. Say this one here. This is off the die. Don't use the die. Don't forget the die cuts are there to be used. Don't think you just have to keep them how they are. You can colour them in. You can do anything you want, and just cut a leaf off. And because I want it to sort of be part of it.
Oh, I see. You can add on there.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're interested in that sentiment and you're not going for the entire collection yet, that's fine. 035474. There's that one individually there as well, which is the English Garden Believe and Cup of Tea stamps, foliage, and bird dyes, and the paper pad. All of that £24.99. Again, that comes with that £14 saving. Now, don't forget, if you are going for the complete collection, of course, you will get that £14 saving. It's all part of the big bundle price at the end of that as well. So loads and loads. It's proving really popular, and I think what people are enjoying, and tell me if I'm wrong on this, and you can email in, of course, to let us know your comments about this, is I think that people are looking at that kind of watercolour quintessential kind of style, and looking how you can change the perception of that with just a little bit and playing with that, and that looks amazing.
All that is one piece of paper, and I'll try and put it on a piece of card for you. Sorry, rummaging around it, but you could put it on a piece of brown card, or you could put it on black or white. But then, you know, now if I do that and cut that out, I actually think that's quite pretty. That looks
amazing. It really does.
And you've got all the bits on it, you know, you've got it depth there. And I could go mad, so when it's dry, don't do it when it's wet, because papers don't like that. But when it's dry, add a little white bits, you know, as shadows. And if you really want to, what you can do is
still going.
This is what happens.
I know, it's fine, it's okay.
Your flowers, you can add a little bit of shadow around the back of your flowers, so you're sort of picking them out, which... not too much, but you're also giving it a shade, so they don't look as... And that's now bringing that one out. So, and if you do the right ink, you can watercolour with them. But I think
that looks amazing.
I
could put a frame around that, and that would go on my house. That is absolutely stunning.
I think it's to everybody sort of card, isn't it, or anything. It's not gender specific or anything. It's just for people who like gardening or anything.
Right, listen, we've got more demonstrations that you're going to hopefully do for us as well now. So I really hope you've enjoyed that. And I did say that you just sort of take what you see here and then give it a completely different perspective by all the tips that we're getting from Lou. Look, if you're looking for more inspiration, or maybe just want that time now so you're not going to miss any demonstration to get these into your basket while you can, now's the time to do it, or be inspired by a few other images of what you can get with this one-day special. I have to say that I genuinely think that there is some real magic to be made with this entire kit if you're going for that. I've just looked at this. Did you say that you know? Yeah,
I didn't even see this. It's just been popped on. And
from Sammy.
Sammy, this is. I've got some lovely people now guesting designers. I've got Patty Dutton, I've got Alison Horn, I've got Sammy Thompson, and this.
Wow.
Look, this is what I mean about having that.
Pop in, come in.
This is what I mean about the garden, the secret garden.
Look at that.
How brilliant is that? Oh, Sammy, it's beautiful.
That is, I think, the detail on that is that could be a set, it could be a film set.
How cool is that?
So that's the paper.
Yep.
Oh, no, that's from the embossing folder that's in there, of course, with the gates, of course, that is all there as well. Then taking the trellis
and the die
detail and the die cutting from that and continuing that and all the way around as well. It's got actually little shells on there to work on that with beautiful.
Wow.
And then taking the stamps, but then what you've taken from the die cutting and move them on there to give you that lovely height. But wow, that is beautiful. And again, just the background detail. That is truly beautiful,
stunning,
isn't it?
It's
Absolutely stunning. Now, that I would look at that and I wouldn't think that's not quintessential English garden. It's magical.
Yeah.
It's got an adventure about it and all of that. So really do think that what you've got here, use it to how you'll know a lot greater than I do, obviously. But there is real opportunity to go through this. So the one-day special. Let's just go through this. If you want to go that, I will tell you a quarter of the stock of the one-day special, which is just this bit here on its own as a one-day special. A quarter of the stock of that has already gone, so included in there. When it's gone, it's gone, by the way. So you've got your watercolours that you can see there with the two watercolour brushes. All that is included in there, and you've seen those being used. Beautiful colours to work with. Then you've actually got the pads themselves there, actually with some die cuts for you in there, which is fantastic. And in there's over 270 of those paper that you can see and you can work with. Then, of course, you've actually got the dies themselves, and you've seen those that have been used in that last demonstration by Lou. We've not used our lovely swirl here yet, have we?
Well, that's it, isn't it?
Well, yeah, we'll see.
It's amazing. We did a little card with nothing, didn't we, really?
Stay tuned to see what happens. Then down here, as you can see, we've got those embossing folders with those dies that are in there that will help you cut through those two separate flowers in that side. Or in here, as you can see, you've got that fantastic bricked, old-style, dry stone walling kind of feel about that. Plus, you've then got, of course, the actual gates that will open up there inside. Then we've got the stamping. This is the one that you saw from Lou that was used in that bottom section that she said is always going to be out on her crafting desk. We've not used the foliage at the top yet, though. And then, of course, you've got that lovely stamp for that gorgeous archway that's there. 914280. Over a quarter of the stock of that has already been allocated. We're only 38 minutes into the one-day special launch. That is £48. And this itself comes to, I said, £34 saving if you'd like to go for that on its own. But a lot of people are going for the entirety with all those savings that are included. And I'll take you down there to show you what else you can get in there as well. Now, the second section we've got here, Lou, is we talked about those other elements that can really bring through.
Absolutely.
And we can use again in different styles, like the watering can and the fence, you say. Just for anyone that missed it first time round, what is it about this little section that it brings to the party?
Well, you don't have to use it as it is. Like the little flowers are so they're fillers. They just go for everything. But you know, you could use the fence, cut the ends off and make it a train track. You could use take the nozzle off the watering can and the handle, and you've got a vase. So don't just think of them like the chair. I was quite liking the actual just the shape of the back.
Yeah, on its own.
Yeah, you know, without the chair, or you can make it into a stool. Like you've got that wonderful lace trellis, but I think it's great as lace. It looks brilliant as a lovely lace design.
Yes,
but you've got the, you know, and then those flowers which cut in and out, and they're really clever. They're clever little things.
I'll just show those again because we brought this lovely example here of how those will be used, and they sort of pop through and give you a lovely effect actually. If you're going to work with those on the flowers themselves, which is fantastic, lovely. That is lovely, that trellis, isn't it?
And that's
piece.
for the people who like the decoupage and the embossing, and you can make the flowers three-dimensional and stuff. So yeah, lovely that.
An awful lot in there. Now this itself again comes with a £14 saving, £34 saving on the one-day special, £14 saving here, 502146. Oh, and the paper pads, of course, are in there. They're not the stickers; they actually are the paper pads. And again, you've been seeing how that looks as well. But again, changing it up and grunging it up and doing that different style was lovely.
Absolutely.
But there's also a second section as well on top of what you just seen there that can go with it. And again, we mentioned this earlier on in your demonstration, Lou, on this one, Lou, that they are all linked. There's a theme that runs through. But here now you could create something the Mad Hatter kind of tea party kind of feel, because now we're looking at almost a crockery style and everything that goes with it.
You could make that into a really like tea party. You could have that at the back of the gates, so it looks like Mad Hatter's tea party. You could have the hollyhock and the nightshade foxglove. You could have that just on its own. I mean, you'll look at some of the samples. I'm going to do you a simple watercolour with that, and it's stunning. I mean, they won't be as good as the samples because those are absolutely, they've hit the nail. There's a watercolour one down there, and Carolyn did one as well. Oh my goodness me. I saw them and I just went, oh.
Oh, really?
That's it. That's all you need to do. I was like, right, I'm so stealing that.
Well, are we going to see that then?
Oh, yeah, I hope
right,
so.
We're going to see that. Right.
See, there it is. Look.
That is beautiful,
look
isn't
at that. Isn't that stunning?
That is
That's
lovely.
our Emma's, that. Emma Blake.
I'm also partial to a nice little cupcake.
But look at that. You see, Emma's changed it up. She's put stuff in the background, and she's a grunger like me, and she's sort of found things that don't look like really girly twee. You know.
Yeah, we know what you mean. We know what you mean. But you honestly, I could do with none of them now, right? £24.99. So this again, £14 saving on here, £14 saving on the last pack, £34 saving on the one-day special. So all of that, you can see why we were saying, look, go for the entire bundle, because of course that with that special why not price as well is absolutely fantastic. So that's a saving so far of £62 saving that we're looking at regarding that. That's how it stands. But also, if you want to go for the papers, now these are the 12 by 12 we've got here, and here these are beautiful again and gorgeous on these.
You get A4 with these as well.
Oh yes, you do. Yeah. In fact, I don't think I showed the A4 last time. I think I just showed the larger side, the 12. But again, similar ones, 8 of each. But so this is something that you pretty much started with on that last demo.
That's it.
So you see that almost a before and after, and there's a place for both, isn't there, for this, which is what's so lovely about these.
We've got a wonderful piece by Patty where she's just journalled on one of these. I'll just bring it in to show you.
Oh yeah, go on, show it.
And that is it. She's journalled on it, and that's using one of the pages. So she's added her own touch to it.
Ah, yes.
So, you know, do what you want to. It started, you finish it.
That is lovely.
It's lovely, isn't it?
With the wheelbarrow with the flowers in there, of course you've got the fence in the background that takes it.
And then
the foliage at the top there as well to drop down.
Yeah.
But you can really build these up beautifully, can't you?
I like the idea that the fact that she's done like a style of journal, I love it.
Yes,
Because it makes people realise that it's not just scrapbooking. You can journal, you can do your grunge, and they're all double-sided. They're all really, really nice papers.
Something for everybody to enjoy and to work with.
That's done. If you chop that off, that's a piece of art in itself.
On its own, there. Yeah. You use that for a separate project, couldn't you?
Dolls'
houses. As well.
Some of these are dolls' houses around the front of it.
This other thing, can we show this? I don't think we showed it when we came down earlier on.
This is
who was this by?
This is Caroline.
Caroline.
Look at that.
Look at that.
That's class, that. That's clever.
That is beautiful, isn't it? That is keep all your stationery bits and pieces that's in there, possibly, or just there for your different brushes even on the side of your crafting. But I just think that is absolutely gorgeous, isn't it?
Papers. She's pieced them together, glued them. That's genius. That, and then she's just rubbed the embossing powders on the top to give it that aged look. But
Cutting at different angles, you've got a different feel about that.
I mean, these are your finger tubes, aren't you, for your foil and stuff?
Right, yeah. So just recycled and reused and done.
Absolutely. Even bottles, you could do the same, cover, not bottles, glass jars and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, make use of your recycling.
But what's nice about that is that the beauty that comes from, I know that there's the little touches on there, but the paper does it, doesn't it? Which is fantastic. 10.99. So it gives you the A4, 8 of those sheets, and 8, of course, of the 12 by 12. 5, 6, 7, 877. Now that, if you would like to go for the entire bundle, is also bundled into it. But don't forget, on top of your £34 saving, your £14 saving, your £14 saving, if you then also go for the one-day complete collection of everything, there's another £5 saving on top of that, bringing your total saving you're looking at to £67 that you'll be looking at there if you go for everything. Now, if you're a Freedom member, of course, now if you're not, why not? Because actually you've got the chance here to get this for £94.46. That would include then your postage and packaging, and of course any other P&P will be free for the rest of the month if you get anything else from that, which is great. Plus, of course, this can all be there over 3 payments on your Flexi Freedom, £31.49, which, if you remember correctly, is of course if you pay for that over your first of your 3 payments at that price, your first payment is of course even lower than if you went for your one-day special on its own. Now, we are only 40 minutes into this, and over 40% of the stock, of the entire stock, has already now been allocated. So, figures, why not go for this? Why not make yourself a Freedom member that you can see here? And that's only £6.97. Of course, then you're going to be getting your free P&P, and that will also carry on for the rest of the month. And even if you decide at the end of the month you want to cancel, you can do, and then think, actually, I'm away for February, I've done a little bit of spending, I'll pull myself away from that for a little bit. You can, and you can start it back up again when you want. So, you can buy price would be £109.95, intro price is £104.95, but don't forget that we're going to take in all those other prices, £34 saving, £14 saving, and £14 saving. Your Freedom offer with 10% off comes as £94.45. I've never said the word savings so many times in one sentence.
Well,
thanks for saving me.
Blooming good, that, isn't it? Blooming good.
It is blooming good.
Blooming good.
We like that. We do that. Oh, by the way, we are looking at dispatch from the 4th of February. 4th of February, which I think is Tuesday?
Something like that, isn't it?
Following Tuesday. I'm following Tuesday.
Well, I've been faffing with that, but I've just put another bit in, and I just think it looks really cool now.
Look at that.
It looks really cool.
I do love that.
It's away. Come on,
we've had a little...
Come on. But
we was asking for a name of the flower. Of that flower. Delphiniums?
Oh, right, a delphinium. I love them.
Well, you should have had the pronunciation that was coming by in every Tuesday. A delphinium. Who was that from? Thank you, Kathy. Thank you for sending that through as a response to that. See? Ask, and our wonderful Hochanda viewers always help us out. Thank you very much. Don't forget, if you want to ask Lou anything, of course, drop your little emails through as well.
Within reason.
Within reason.
You know what I mean?
Anything.
I think the world, you know, but forget it. I'll only answer. Sorry, this is going on. AWOL. It's annoying me. You know when it goes over like that? It's not good telling that, is it?
I'm trying not to comment.
But it ain't got a prop. It goes here like this. It's rubbish.
Are you all right? Do you want doing up at the back or anything?
I feel like that woman. You remember them?
Nettie and Ada from that was Les Dawson, wasn't it?
Ada and
Nettie and Ada.
No, when Ada and Sissy.
Ada and Sissy.
Yeah, do you remember?
Les Dawson and Barraclough, wasn't it?
That's me and Jane Telford.
Hey, if I come in Dame outfit, I could do it right down there if you want as well.
I'll tell you. You know how you do, mate. I could join you.
So a little moment. Out-of-body experience there.
That certainly was, wasn't it?
Oh, sorry about that, everyone.
That's his other hat.
Wig.
Yeah, whatever.
What are you doing now? What are you doing now then, love?
I'm making a mess. All I've done is I've got a little bit of this on here, and I'm just going to do that because that's what I do. And I'm going to do that because that's what I do as well. So I've got... All right, come on now. Now, play nice now. Come on. Right, I've got this round... When has this been? Round. Watercolour. Not one. Right, start again. I've got this it's oval stamping block, and I just want to create like a watercolour background. So the suction on this is
pretty impressive, isn't it?
Blooming heck. And all I've done is I've just picked a spot. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'll move it over and show you. Picked a spot, and all I'm doing is just allowing that. And
this is looking good, this.
I want it to look like flowers. So I'm just overloading it.
It looks like pressed flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want it to look, now I don't want to go too mad, but I want it to look like flowers growing upwards. So, and then you can keep going. And what I can do then is once I've done that, I can just introduce another colour. But what I can do is while I'm waiting for that, I'll just, now this is old card, right? And the reason I'm using old card is because I'm not using that anymore. But I like it, don't get me wrong, but it's not for me at the moment. So I'm using the back of it, which is brilliant. And I'm just going to pick that up. See, this would look nice. I mean, you can still use it, because it's not bad with that.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not knocking it in any way. I'm just saying, I am at the point now in my life where I'm using it all up because I'm fed up of having it and not using it. Right.
What point? Is this a point that comes in everyone's life?
Well, I think I'm at that point, right, where my other half is like looking at me and going, and he's not saying out, and that's good of him, but even he can't even get in his wardrobe. He's like that, and it's like one day I'm going to be found in the middle of it, passed away. Because it's stacked
I'll be honest, this demonstration's taken a turn that I wasn't expecting.
Sorry, right. But just, so now use your card. Anyway, the reason I'm telling that is use the stuff you've got, because that paper you can use, the papers in these pads, get them used, don't save them for a nice day.
I never knew that glitter card could be so morbid.
It is really, really useful though. We don't look at the back of papers, we look at the front, and it's like strange because really if you start looking at what they are, they're just amazing uses. And we just think, oh well, I'm not using that, I won't use it, that's it. And so it's my mission now.
Will you come round for dinner one day?
Yeah, of course.
Just
talk for rubbish.
Can we bring the whole team?
Oh, I'd love to.
Right, okay, we'll do that. We'll do that. Okay.
I've got some very interesting facts.
Where do you want to go? Do you want to go to your place or do you want to go to my place? Where
can't get in mine.
Right, then we're up to mine then.
Too much rubbish in it. I'm like a bag lady. Oh, no, not a bag lady, an order. I'm an order. Right, I'm one of them orders. What I've done is, I've got that there. I've got this foxglove, and I'm just going to make that the centre of it. So what you can do now is go two ways. You can darken the actual colour you've got here and make it really dark purple or lilac, or you can go with black, and it's entirely up to you what you do, or you can go with a colour mix. What you can do is also get your felt tip pens, anything like that, but I'm going to go with a black because I think that will really help me when I colour it in. What
I think I've realised about you now, Lou, is that while you're talking to us, there is things going on in your brain that only you understand and know. and then when you finish talking, magic happens. But it's almost like a stalling technique. See, it was like a stalling technique when you're doing things. I know now. I'm watching you, thinking you're not talking to me. You're just living your mind space to create.
What it is when I was teaching, you can't have a gap. You know, you've got to explain what you're doing, why you're doing it, and the reason, because if you give people the reason and the understanding, then you're empowering them.
Yes.
So then they understand why they do it, why that happens. If you don't do that, people just think, oh, it's gone wrong, and they can't rectify it. Yeah. So the reason I chat is because we used to do it, I'd have everybody around the table, we'd say, right, you do this, and this is why you do it, and da-da-da-da, and then they go away and do it, you see. So I haven't got out of that.
Well, it's great. Well, this is why I think everyone loves watching the demonstrations, because everyone's always learning so much from whenever you do them.
Well, I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Because, I mean, teaching was my life. It still is, but now
How many years were you a teacher?
20.
20 years teaching. And what age were you teaching?
11 upwards.
11 upwards.
Yeah, and it's...
Which can be challenging in itself.
It is, and I absolutely adored it. But, I mean, the good times, bad times like we have, but...
I bet there's lots of people out there now that talk back about their wonderful art teacher.
Well, some of them I was a bit strict, but the thing is...
You were never strict,
I was, firm but fair.
Yeah,
but the thing is, that's why I like to talk. I always remember I was always frightened to ask questions sometimes, and it was like... I felt like an idiot. Sorry, I shouldn't say that, but I did, because I felt like, well, if I ask that, I'll look a bit daft. And I've come to realise now there's no daft questions, and if you ask them, there'll be someone else who wants to know the same thing as well.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, you must ask. Anyway, what I've done now is I've just taken the colours that I've used, and I've just gone round the edge, and the reason I've gone round the edge is I want to bring that forward. I don't want to lose this beautiful effect I've got here, but I just want to bring, and I'm using the same colours I did before, so I'm just dabbing in like that, and I'm just giving it its own shadow, but not to the point where I'm not messing that up, but I'm not obliterating that. Now, because it's an oxide, it will still work. Right, so. Right, okay, so I'm happy with that, but I want something a bit darker now. So now we're going with my paints. So I'm just going to get this really dark.
We've got just a couple of minutes left in this hour.
No way.
Yeah, I know.
Right, well, will I be able to carry on with this?
Yeah.
Right, so what I've done is a little bit of the dark blue, just to give it a bit more of an edge, and you'll see it just picks it up a little bit, and then in the next sort of part I will just go in with the colour and paint it. But you can see now all that was just blobs on the paper.
But that little bit of that you've done around there as well, do you know, it's amazing how much that does make that image pop though.
Surprising,
doesn't it? It really does bring it up.
You know when you say it and you think, oh, that's not going to work, and then when you see it happen and you're like, oh yeah, it does actually work.
Yeah, that was really nice.
I'm looking for a fine paintbrush, but this isn't the fine one. But oh, blooming heck, silly woman!
Use the brushes.
I forget they're there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to change that into a blue, and the reason I'm doing that is so I want it to pop out. So I've got a bit of the lilac, a bit of that, and I'm going to go in with a teal, believe it or not, because the teal in this will make this a beautiful purple blue. And I'm just going to put a little bit more teal in it. So the colour I've mixed is teal and purple and blue. And I've got this wonderful colour. I'll just show you the colour now. There. So I'm just going to pick this out on one side only. And just inside where these, you know where the insides of the flowers.
Oh yeah.
Just pick it up just inside so that it brings attention to the bottom and the top and all the flowers. So just do that. Add a little bit of depth down here to bring it out. These paintbrushes are good. You don't have to use them with water inside if you want to. I'm not using them like that. If you want to get an effect and you want to blend that in and you're painting, one of the nice ideas is to just push your finger on it. I'll just show you again here. You just slap your paint on. You don't have to be neat, and then get your finger in like that, and it does the same effect as the. Right. Now, so what I've done...
I'm just going to pause for 1 second, if that's OK, just 1 second, because I know that we're coming to the end of this particular hour as well, but if you have got anything in your baskets from the show so far, please make sure you can check that out so you can take advantage of everything you've seen so far.